I hope in a few years, Siobhan, I will invite you to interview Pharrell when she goes to her Olympics.
Absolutely. I'll be there. I'll be there cheering you on.
So having the support and kind of encourage.
They find out that, oh, it's all yards.
I think that sport communities need to work on getting a lot closer outside of sporting events. I don't think there's enough group swimming activities that don't revolve around training.
Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let anyone hold you back. Go out.
Looking at it as an obstacle today, right? But there's so much more positive you could find out of this. Bad is all about perspective.
Swimming for me has given me so much, and my life would not be what it is today if it wasn't for swimming, and if it wasn't for the opportunities that I received when I was in Trinidad.
I hear it's into the competition soon.
It's a pleasure for me, and I told you that now. Thanks for the interview. You know, we could still get some ideas how we could run swimming. Everything has not went down with the yellow submarine. We could save it. All right, we could save it.
So you have hope.
Yeah, I have hope. I have hope.
You can take Nikolai Blackman in a race now.
Not a chance in the world, but I wouldn't let him hear that.
So when you have me on the show, I had to the Trinbago best show.
No, thank you. This is a great. This is such a great initiative. I wish I had this when I was actually swimming.
Coaches, you all can open up about your own experiences, because all of us has been through this COVID-19 pandemic.
Hey parents, life in sport for your son or daughter as an athlete is bound to have some challenges as well as setbacks.
Adversity doesn't exist to bug you down, but rather it's to teach you a lesson.
When you wake up in the morning, start thinking positive thoughts. Replace those negative thoughts and those negative emotions with positive affirmations about yourself. Letting yourself be reminded that you're going to have a great day. You are worth it. You love yourself.
Taking that on. They be like, I will do it for free.
So I'm from Tobago, guys. I'm currently based in Florida. Hopefully when COVID is over and the borders are reopened, I'll be back home so we could start something. And my IG handle is AziJo7. So be sure to follow me because I post videos every day, my workout videos. So let's go.
But learn your customer, tailor your program to suit them. Do not have the mindset that I can do this and wherever I say you have to go it. It's a teaching process. Be very gentle and patient with them. My goal as a coach was always to see swimming develop in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? It was never to see that, hey, you know what, Rocky, I don't care personally for the accolades and who looks at me as a good coach.
Thank you for everyone who has been with us for the past 14 episodes. And did I say goodnight to Trinidad? And heavy on the Tobago. All right, so tonight's episode is action-packed. Loving the house all the time for my Tobago peeps who's gonna be on soon. We have the normal episodes, the normal segments, the mental massage, the dryland dimensions, the flashback freestyles, the coach's conscience. So stay tuned. The cook up with Cindy and the sous chef. All right. So up next we have dryland dimension. So let's go.
She ain't taking that on. They be like, I will do it for free. I will do it for free. It's okay.
So I'm from Tobago, guys. I'm currently based in Florida. Hopefully when COVID is over and the borders are reopened, I'll be back home so we could start something. And my IG handle is AziJo7. So be sure to follow me because I post videos every day, my workout videos. So let's go. Hello. I can hear you.
Asia, why are you sideways? Good evening.
I was always sideways. Okay, hold on. Oh my god.
Wow.
Listen.
So this is dryland dimension. You're supposed to have Asia Joseph, hopefully right side up.
Okay, is it better now?
Well, you're looking like a human now, yes. So on screen we have Asia Joseph of dryland dimensions. We also have Chantal McLean. Good evening, ladies.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Hi, Chantal.
So it goes, we are at episode number 15 now. And if you go back to episode number 10, you would remember that we gave out some prizes, etc., for celebrating our 10th episode. And one of the prizes was a package where you got to train with Asia for a period of a month. So before I go to Chantal, what kind of student what's your about Chantal? Because we're still a student, client.
Chantal is an athlete. She is a very hard worker, I must say. She came to every training session ready to go, ready to work. No matter what I gave her, she was like, all right, let's go, we ready. We rocking and we rolling. And she was the perfect student. A1.
Chantal, so you got A+ there from Asia. You can give her the same grade?
Well,
how on a scale of 1 to 10, how abusive was she?
How what?
Abusive.
Wow. Past 7.
Past 7.
8.5, I would say.
8.5.
But not bad abusive, but like rough, challenging, rough, yeah.
So, but seriously, since it was only a month, but how was the training regimen? How was the experience? I mean, you went to the Olympics, so I'm guessing you're accustomed to hard work.
Yes, so I am. And she reminded me of what that hard work was. I've been out of that. I haven't really exercised from 3 years because that's when I got back into exercising for Sisican. And then before that was 2012. So 2012 to 2017, I didn't really exercise, and then 2017, I exercised for about 3 months with Altus, and then after that, I did not really have anything to be exercising for. But then I was so happy when I came when I won that prize on that 10th episode. I came in on like right in time, I guess. But honestly, with Asia, she did it incrementally. So each week it got more challenging. And each week, besides challenging, it got harder. And I was like, what the hell? Because I really didn't know what to expect.
Right.
I mean, Asia is relatively new for me.
Right.
And I wasn't sure like I didn't know how to gauge her and everything. She seemed real bubbly when I tuned into Trinidad Tobago freestyles, and you know she would do that dryland dimensions, and she seemed nice and stuff. That's
not true.
That's
but okay. I mean, I know you would have the first week pains and stuff, but how was the experience? Did you see results? Did you see improvements in yourself in the short time?
You know, I took like before pictures. You know, you see some people doing like the before pictures. I haven't done the after because I last week. Well, this weekend was really the last session, so I really didn't do an after pictures just yet. However, I mean, the way how Asia did the exercises, I would do core. I told her before we started, she contacted me and we chatted, and she asked what I wanted to work on, and she gave me an idea of like how the days would go. And when it says we did start, I thought it was, you know, one day would be like core and strength, and next day would be like, I guess, hit and core maybe or something like that. Nope, it was core, hit and strength. And I was like, when she showed me the first day of work, I was like, what? But I definitely did see, I saw improvements. It did really good for me mentally because I have not been able to work out at all since I have to be working and coaching. And I think this was like, to me, a blessing because it came in a really correct time for me. And with her exercises, the way how she started, I would do core first and then go into hit, and the way how it built in the day itself, it was really, I liked that pattern.
So you're happy to have the experience with the official Tobagonian on the program.
With the official Tobagonian,
yes.
All right, Asia.
I said a few prayers and I said a few.
Well, at least, I mean, if Asia brought you closer to God, I mean, that's always a thing.
That's right.
Asia, I really kind of steal this segment. So, first of all, Chantal, I mean, I'm glad you had a good experience, and I mean, I hope other people, I mean, Asia is doing this thing on an ongoing basis, and don't be afraid to message her and engage her services. Engage her services. I repeat that, right? I mean, it's good to have a strength and conditioning specialist in your corner. Asia, any closing words for your segment that I stole?
Don't steal my segment, please. All right.
Wow.
And 1 and 2, be sure to log into my Instagram on Saturday at 9 a.m. AziJoe7, where we doing Let Me Go with AziJoe. So we have core sessions, we have hit sessions, we'll have all different type of sessions. So bring 2 people, no admin fees, just bring them and come.
The views of Asia are not necessarily views of Trinidad freestyle.
Definitely.
You're not running any susu here.
No, I said no admin fees. Just bring 2 people and come.
Yeah,
Bring them. It's free. 9 a.m. Set your alarms, okay?
All right, so remember this Saturday. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you, Asia. Remember this Saturday. I mean, you know, obviously Asia exercising here anymore because you need to go to her page and follow her at AziJoe7 and get all the workouts. And it's not just workouts alone. Asia, you had to pay me for this. It's not just workouts alone. I mean, there's a lot of education on the timeline, etc., that could help you develop as an athlete and as a coach. Thank you, Asia. Thank you, Chantel.
Thank you.
And,
Welcome.
Thanks, Asia.
You're welcome.
So
Bye.
now, bye. Right, so now we're going into our nutritional nuggets and also flashback freestyles.
Hi guys, Yav Neil here as the Sport Nutrition Consultant from Classy Bodies Wellness Clinic, located just upstairs Center of Excellence, Macoya. And today we're going to continue our series looking at the different tenets of proper sporting performance and nutrition. And we're going to look today at hydration. So I think the first week we would have covered micronutrients. The second week, that was last week, on the Chlorine Callaloo segment, we would have spoken about the importance of macronutrient balance. And then today we're going to speak about hydration, which can be very often overlooked in aquatic sports, mainly because we are submerged into a body of water, right? So one of the major concerns with aquatic athletes is the issue of dehydration, right? And this is because when you are submerged in water, you are not consciously aware of the fact that you are losing water and electrolytes through sweat, because you're in a pool, so you're just covered in water. So you're not really thinking about, oh, I'm sweating. Additionally, because you are surrounded by water, right, your brain sometimes doesn't signal the "oh, I'm thirsty" in time, and it leads you to be dehydrated for a prolonged period because of the fact that you have been submerged in water. And you only feel the effects of that when you come out of the pool and you're like, oh, gosh, I can drink an entire bottle of Gatorade or a bottle of water now, right? Now, so we already know that our body consists of at least 70% water, and our blood is about 97% water, right? So this in itself means that water is a very, very, very important substance that we need to be paying a lot more attention to in our everyday lives and as athletes, right? So now maintaining good hydration is also important for your kidney health, right? Now the kidney performs two main roles. Red blood cell production begins in the kidneys, and it produces the hormone of erythropoietin. And maintaining a good red blood cell count can directly impact performance. How? You're looking at aerobic fitness, which is what swimming really is. Maximal oxygen consumption, that's the VO2 max. And also your kidneys play an important role in the balancing of electrolytes, right? Now, dehydration can contribute significantly to fatigue and declining in your performance in the pool, right? So not only is it gonna be causing you to, be just more tired, but you're also gonna have loss of mental focus. Your technique begins to get sloppy. You're a bit more hesitant, and you may not react quick enough. And these are all effects of dehydration. So this is why you need to be properly hydrated always in the pool, right? In general, let's say you are going to train. A rule of thumb that I have seen, I have observed in a couple of studies, is that you want to ensure that you are properly hydrated before you begin training, right? So what would that mean? I would say a rule of thumb: before you get into the pool, you must urinate very, very, very light yellow or clear. That's a signal that, okay, I am properly hydrated. And you will feel the difference, because of just being hydrated, you feel more energized, you are better able to form in the pool, right? We're looking at periodic water breaks. And you may not have time in a session as a market for a break, but you're gonna need to have fluid consumption throughout your session, right? And in terms of electrolytes, because you're losing that through sweat in the water, right? You're gonna need to have some form of electrolyte drink there with you that can be something that's just like a Gatorade or a Powerade, or you can even make it for yourself at home with just salt water and with the sugar flavor or whatever, right? Because the main electrolytes that you're losing through your sweat will be sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and chloride, right? And calcium, sodium, and potassium are incredibly important for muscle contraction, right? And by losing these things, you can then run into issues of muscle weakness or cramping, which sometimes your toes would cramp in the pool, right? That's a sign that you are a bit dehydrated and you have lost some electrolytes. Put that back in, right? So some fruits with you by the pool: watermelon, banana, carrots, corn. Those things are good natural sources of electrolytes. Alternatively, like I said before, you can have a drink with you there that allows for electrolyte replenishing. If you're looking at sodium and chloride, then that's just table salt, right? Teaspoon, about 5 grams, allows about half of the sodium that you would need before you train. And in most sports drinks, they go upwards of like 50 milligrams for every, allows for electrolyte replenishing. If you're looking at sodium and chloride, then that's just table salt, right? Teaspoon, about 5 grams, allows about half of the sodium that you would need before you train. And in most sports drinks, they go upwards of like 50 milligrams for every 100 milliliters. So you can have that with you while you train, a salted beverage. I mean, Gatorade is fine. You don't need to drink salt and water. That's not food, right? So that's just the basics of what we need to consider as to why hydration needs to be very important. So if you need more information on this, you can come and check us out in the clinic of Citizens of Excellence. We're there every day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I believe. So check us out there, and peace. See you all next week.
Right, so good evening and welcome back to Chlorine Callaloo, and this is the segment we like to call Flashback Freestyles. And with us this evening, we have Mr. Mosi Dinoon. Good evening, Mosi.
Good evening, Jason. How are you going?
I'm all right. So Mosi Dinoon, tell us, when did you start to swim? How did you get involved into the sport of swimming?
That's a long story. So what happened with me, I started swimming at the age of around 5. It had a guest house swimming pool further down the road from where I live in Concordia. So I used to take my bike and ride down the road and jump over the wall to go into the people's swimming pool. And eventually, just being there, the swimming pool down there had a swim training program going on by Miss Beverly Joseph. And she saw me doing that, and that's how I actually got started in the art of learning how to swim. With regards to competitive swimming, I didn't start competitive swimming until maybe around 18 when I got into the University of Trinidad and Tobago. That's when I actually first started competitive swimming. Before I actually attended maybe 1 or 2 swim meets in Trinidad, I attended one in San Fernando. I think the team back then was Silverfin. Is that a Silverfin or a Silver Sharks?
Yeah, right.
Right, so Silverfin's in San Fernando. That was like one of my first swim meets in Trinidad when I was younger. I didn't know about flip turning and touching the water with 2 hands, so I got disqualified from all of my events. But it was a good experience, you know. And then my next swim meet in Trinidad would have been the secondary school swim meet, where I was the lone Tobagonian swimmer that came down for that secondary school swim meet and tried to wave down to Center of Excellence, you know. So it's been a journey. And then from there started at 18 in competitive swimming, made my first national team at 2010, in 2010.
How old you were then?
Nothing with ages. Like
Mathematics.
I don't know, maybe 18, 19, I think.
Right. So, but I remember you got into UTT. How did that happen? How did you, because is it that your talent was just identified and they offered you a scholarship for UTT?
Well, when they were scouting in UTT, I think they came across to Tobago to just check to see if there were any swimmers over here. And there's actually, they took the 2 top swimmers from Tobago, which was myself and Amanda Louis. She was the top female, and I was the top male in Tobago. So based on that, they took us down and we came in on a walk-on scholarship to UTT. And from there is where we build and we swam, train, make sure we kept our grades up, compete when they needed us to try and get onto scholarship to actually swim.
So you would have done some CC cans. Did you do any CISC?
I did 2 CISC. I did not do CC can. I think I missed that by 0.01 of a second. Yeah, when I tried to, you know. But hey, I worked harder and then I got into CISC the year after. So.
And did you medal in any of these games individually?
I medaled in 2010. That was my first ever national swim team, and I got a bronze medal in the 100-meter breaststroke.
Wow.
2012 I didn't medal, and when I went over to Masters, I medaled in my first Masters swim meet in Colombia, 2015.
Would you have been the first Tobagonian to medal in a curve test, CC, those kind of games?
I was the first Tobagonian to medal in a CISC because when I started swimming, I was too old for Carifta and Goodwill, which I learned later on in my swimming career.
Okay. So following the swimming and but you're still swimming because you're doing masters, etc. You went on to coaching as well. What was the reason for that?
For me, it merely came down to giving back to Tobago, because after I went to Trinidad for the 7 years I was down there doing my studies and swimming, when I came back to Tobago, I saw a kind of void where, you know, the experience that I had in Trinidad from being a swimmer, I could have now bring it across to Tobago to train the children of Tobago for them to actually make it in swim. Because being a Tobagonian back then, when I was just swimming on a regular in Tobago, I always wanted to be on the national team. But the fact of the matter is I did not know how to get on the national team. So I would say to myself that I would like to be on the national team, and then maybe like a few days after you open the papers and see, well, the Carifta team is so by so. And I was like, I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand how the process. So what I brought to Tobago more or less is just the idea or the know-how of how to make it from this point to that point with regards to going on a national team. You know, so that's
and we would have seen subsequent to that a lot more Tobagonians have been making teams, different teams along the way.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And they do have worked hard for it. You know, I would give them that. And the making the journey down to Trinidad for the 5-day swim meets, we'd have to take time off from school, where the principals and the teachers have to be understanding, and the parents themselves, and they have been a great support with regards to taking the time off to come down for the swim meets, and really applaud them for that kind of forward thinking, because it's not easy giving a child 5 days off or 3 days or whatnot when they have to go to the national team. A lot of teachers and principals could tell a child no, but so far they have been supporting us whenever we have swim meets. We appreciate that.
Okay. So with regards to the coaching side of it, what is your major challenges in getting people to swim in Tobago?
The major challenges, I think, would be the feeder program that we have in Tobago, because our swim team is mainly run under the YMCA. So, we allow the YMCA to do more or less the teaching of the Learn to Swim program, and then they feed them into the swim team, where we more or less gear them for competition. I think that's mainly our main challenge, is just the time period between the Learn to Swim into the competitive swim team side. That is our main challenge with regards to swim team and getting swimmers.
So would it be that? I mean, we have other people from Tobago talking along in the program, but are Tobagonians swimming? Do Tobagonians want to swim? Other than
competitive swimming, yes, they generally want to swim. So you have the interest in Tobago. There's no lack of interest. There are a lot of swimmers. When we did our last take-in before COVID, we had maybe 30 to 35 kids that signed up that wanted to join the swim team, So there is the interest. The interest is there with regards to swimming in Tobago, and then our swim team, we go out of Trinidad and Tobago with regards to swimming. So it's another pointer that allows the parents and the swimmers to want to join and be into this sort of activity, So the interest is definitely there in Tobago.
Okay. I'm sure some of your athletes would have some. I mean, you talk about people coming and having to be here for 5 days and things like that. I mean, I would assume that takes a toll on the athlete sometimes. Is there any additional support that you all would need to maximize performance of Tobago swimmers? Since everything for the most part.
But with regards to the 5 days, I wouldn't say it really takes a toll on the swimmers per se, because they actually enjoy it. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they would have to do their studies when they come down with us or whatnot, but, at least they get a time to bond with each other and, be away from anything stressful, so they get to relax a little bit more.
Right.
With regards to support, we mainly get support from the Tobago House of Assembly. They help us when they can, and for the most part, they do help us. When they can't, we do our fundraisers to help come down to Trinidad, because when you decide, or when our club decides to come to any swim meet in Trinidad, whether it be developmental or competitive, it comes with a high cost tag attached to it, So even if you say you're coming down to just a 1-day swim meet, a 1-day swim meet with all your developmentals, it comes up to a lot of money. You come down to a 5-day swim meet, it comes out a lot of money. And at my point in my coaching career, I say I don't ever want to be put in a position where I have to tell a swimmer that, hey, we can't really go this swimming because of funding and whatnot, So that's why we would try our best to do like a pecan fish or a barbecue or something to make sure that these children and these athletes get a chance to compete, no matter the price tag, but the price tag is a lot.
Right.
We try our best, and we have been doing it so far.
Yeah, because actually every time I watch mostly profile as one if he's a swim coach or if he's selling food, because we always have a little fundraiser, going on to the go and say.
It literally takes, if you can price it out, it takes a single fundraiser to go to a swim meet, Like every fundraiser you do is you're allowing the swim team to go a swim meet, And it's difficult, it's hard, but the parents are there supporting, the executive is there supporting, so I mean, we're making it work. By all means, by any way necessary, any way possible that we can, we make it work. And it has been working for us so far.
Is there any additional support you could get from Trinidad?
Yeah, I was thinking with regards to support, because Trinidad is very welcoming. I'm not going to lie. Since I have been a swimmer in 2010, dealing with my coach Paul Nualdo, and even the swimmers that surrounded me in 2010, like Vince and Strasser and all these people, Trinidad has been very welcoming to me as a swimmer. And with regards to my swim team, they always ask if we require help. This is I'm not just talking about the executive, I'm just talking about the swimming community in Trinidad on a whole.
Right.
So they would always ask us if we need help or if we require assistance with something, and it is helpful. With regards to beyond that additional support, I guess the only thing I can think of is maybe help with funding and accommodation, because what does liquor us up the most is the accommodation. But like I said, we don't complain. We muster through and we make it through to the end, regardless of anything.
Any final word for Tobago swimmers to encourage them to get involved in the sport?
I would always say that we are here. Swimming is not a sport that you could take lightly. It comes with its own great deal of work, and you have to be willing to put in the work if you want to reach where you want to be. And once I have swimmers that come to me and they are willing to put in the work, even if you come on a day and you give me, you're feeling 50%, and you give me, 100 out of that little 50%. Some it have trend. I have one child who can't hear properly, and she shows up every single day to training. She fell off something and busted her shoulder, and she still come to training. And it's just that kind of determination that inspires you to really come out to coach and get this train going, because the train of Tobago, I mean, they have that passion, they have that will, and beyond COVID, because COVID is just a destruction to swimming all around, but beyond that, really great. We're here for them, and once they're willing, most important, once they're willing and they know why they want to do it, come and join swimming and do what you have to do, man.
All right, so that was Mosi Dinoon. Thank you very much for your time. Also, thank you very much. I mean, you have led away and light away for some additional Tobagonians to come onto the national team, and we have seen the improvement and the increase in the numbers of swimmers as well. So thank you for your contribution, and I know you're keeping at the Masters, so we're hoping to see something from you in the Masters in the future.
Definitely. Thanks for inviting me on the program.
What about getting some Tobago Masters in? You can't be the only one there too.
I mean, with Tobago Masters?
Yeah.
With Tobago Masters, we have maybe 2 or 3 swimmers. So we have myself, Rochelle Pierre, and John Prokop.
I mean Tobago, come on.
That is Tobago. But it's actually something that we are looking into starting, because we have 1 or 2 masters here, so what they have been doing, they have been swimming in the morning sessions with these swimmers and them, I guess they reach that point of being comfortable with swimming in Tobago and then coming down to Trinidad to try and qualify. That's a little confidence gap that I have to manage, but it's have people who are willing and who are interested, but like I said, that confidence gap, but we'll get there, definitely.
Very well, man. Thank you very much, Mosi, and keep safe.
No problem. You too, man. Keep safe down there.
All right. All right. Good evening. Good evening, Miss Beverly Joseph. Beverly? Oh, hold on. Hold on. All right, Beverly. Beverly?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Pardon?
Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Very well. Are you seeing Asia Joseph on the screen as well?
As beautiful as ever.
So Asia Joseph, Beverly Joseph, definitely this is big one Trinidad. Right? Trinidad, Tobago. Beverly, welcome to Chlorine Callaloo, welcome to Coach's Conscience. Beverly, are you hearing me?
I can't hear.
Just
Oh,
for a
okay.
little bit, I wasn't hearing. I wasn't
All
hearing for a little bit.
All right. All right, Beverly, we'll bring back Asia shortly. Are you hearing us now, Beverly?
Clearly.
Right. So, Beverly, how did you get involved in swimming?
Well, I really got involved in swimming through Michael Baker.
Right.
Michael Baker at one point in time was the lone swimming instructor in Tobago. And he used to do like a swim program with school children.
Right.
And from I became a lifeguard. And from through lifeguard, he saw that I had the potential and he introduced it to me and I came and I love it. And from there I was no stopping.
So how long are you in this coaching business now?
About 26 years.
Beverly, long time.
Hey, don't go there.
I didn't know you past 26, but that's all right. So I know you have dealt with different aspects, and you taught learn to swim, you have coached, you do the lifeguarding as well. I understand you even started to train coaches as well.
Yes, sometimes I do that.
Right. Tell us, I mean, how Tobagonian coaches, how receptive have they been to training, etc.?
Well, actually, I just did with the Tobago YMCA coaches and the coaches at Kendall Aquatic Center, and they were quite receptive, and it was a really heartwarming. It was just love overflow. Like this is your love thing, and you are now going to impart it onto others, and they accepted it, and it was lovely.
So, as a coach, I know sometimes you might deal with some difficult athletes. Like, in the past, you would have athletes, they put their name down to swim and to meet, and it never go. Like Asia. How do you deal with like Asia?
Well, sometimes, Asia never, I don't, Asia, have you ever swum in a swim meet? I don't think she ever did. Probably once.
I
Probably
had
once.
one summit.
Yes, probably once. But I think like she always, butterflies. I don't really want to do this. I'm so scared. So, when it's like that, sometimes you allow them. So I allowed them, and I realized that Asia didn't really want to do that. She wanted to coach, and she was a coach at the YMCA, and then she have elevated. She had soared. She spread her wings. And I'm telling you,
How do you feel about that, Corin?
I'm so happy. I mean, she made me feel so. I'm so proud of her. Every time I speak of Asia, I'm just like beaming.
Oh, thank you,
Asia,
Auntie Debbie.
Asia, talk to Auntie Bev now.
I miss you so much. I cannot wait to come home to see you.
I know.
For real. I can't wait.
And I must say, every time Asia is in Tobago, she make it her duty to come and look for me wherever I am.
Yes. Yes.
Beverly is very easy to find in Tobago too.
Yeah, always on the beach.
If you have any questions you want to throw in for answer?
Um, Not really. I just want to tell her thank you for everything because I mean, I don't know if you all know or not, but Auntie Beverly is actually the reason I got into coaching. I learned everything from her. I took everything from her. That same love that she has for coaching and teaching is the same love that I have, and the same way you feel about just like imparting your knowledge onto others. Like I still use techniques that you showed me from 10 years ago, and it's it don't have anything better than just telling the child, okay, holy child me so they don't kick bend, you know? And it's like, you just it's just things that you taught me that has stuck with me throughout the 10 years that I have been coaching, and I just want to tell you thank you for that, and keep coaching, and we love you and we appreciate you, and see you soon.
And I do appreciate that, Aisha. I mean, coming from you, this is really it's really touching, that at least I know that I have shared and somebody have, they have learned from it and they are now imparting that onto others, which is what this is what the whole system should be about. You're just sharing and imparting and making others grow from it.
Yep. Agreed.
Yes, and Auntie Bev earlier in the earlier interview with Mosi spoke that Auntie Bev is when he used to run away over some water to go and swim in a pool. Auntie Bev was the one who saw him and helped him along the way.
Oh yeah, and mostly
first regional medalist.
yes. And I was so happy and proud. I'm still so proud of Mosi because like now Mosi and I have a really nice relationship and a networking where for my Learn to Swim program, as a Mosi, I have like 20 children who I think is ready for swim team, You could take a look at them and then he'll say, okay, I'll schedule a day, and then he will schedule a day, and we will have like a tryout thing, and 90% of the time, almost all the children they take onto the swim team, and I'm really happy that, we have this nice rapport and this nice relationship that we can make the children of Tobago excel in swimming.
And but you going back to your students to ask your children, how do you feel about that?
It means that I have done well.
Yes.
If you're a teacher and you did not make your student better than you, then you have failed as a teacher.
I like that.
Right now, I can't wait for Asia to come and teach me some of her stuff, and I can learn, and I'm learning from Mosi, So it's wonderful.
Yes.
Don't worry, we send our APB to the Minister of National Security just for Asia.
Bring her back.
Yes, soon, fingers crossed.
And Bev, what more would you like to see for swimming in Tobago?
Well, I think Tobago have 225-meter pool, one in the east and one in the west, and I think it could be more utilized. I think we could use it some more, and we could also have more coaches. So I am here willing and ready to give my service to whoever is interested in becoming a coach. And we're just here to just spread everything that we have to share with these new instructors. And also I would like to see when that swim team is going to Trinidad, like we have to have like 3 or 4 flights put on for the swimmers to go to Trinidad to compete in competitions.
And that's the next thing I ask. I know when you swim meet, you go head and head doing all kind of things for those swim meets, those Tobago swim meets that used to go on year after year after year, and after a while, if people at Trinidad come up to that Tobago swim meet, how you feel to see that meet grow? Awesome. The swim meet, the Tobago swim meet. How did you feel to see how the meet has grown and blossomed? Because It started with a few swimmers, and then you found the whole of Trinidad coming across to Tobago for that swim.
Oh man, I look forward to I look forward to this. And you know what, the children in Trinidad, Auntie Bev, Auntie Bev, Auntie Bev, I look forward to this, and it's such a great thing, the children in Tobago, knowing the children in Trinidad, and it's like a real swim family love, is a wonderful thing.
And I mean, I'm sure, have you gotten a lot of support from people in Trinidad in your own personal development?
Pardon?
Have you received a lot of support from people in Trinidad in your development and the development of swimming in Tobago?
Of course. I must start with, I don't know if you know Pee-wee.
Right.
His name was Erwin DeRoche. He's kind of started to come to Tobago and introduce certain things to us and encourage me to come to Trinidad. And then Linky, may his soul rest in peace. Linky was a very big part of me and swimming, helping Bev. I have something that I want to introduce you to. It have this course that I want you to go to. Linky was part of that also. And Alison Puchette and Edmund Puchette, they were all part of. I must say thank you to all of them, because without them, swimming in Tobago has really taken off. We can even go further, but because of their input, it was a great help to the swimmers in Tobago, the coaches, so that the coaches can impart that onto the swimmers.
Auntie Bev, any final words? By the way, how have you been coping through COVID?
COVID. I want to skip 2020. Could we skip 2020?
Don't we all?
Well, I don't want to skip it, because if we didn't have 2020, I wouldn't have this program. So let me don't skip it.
Sure.
Well, it have its positive and its negative, because the pools have been closed since March.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody, none of these kids have been swimming. When we just open up back a little bit, and people were all excited, getting things to go back in together, but COVID again. So, COVID has really dampened us in Tobago. But, we are just encouraging the parents to keep the children and them doing dryland training at home and keep them safe, because we want to see them at the end of this.
Auntie Bev, I really would like any final words.
Thank you so much for making me a part of this program, and always feel free to come and let us do some interacting. You have Jason, you have helped me a lot in terms of putting out programs. Like when we started to do the competitions in Tobago, he was our IT man. Everything you call Jason for the IT. It's really a great family love between Trinidad and Tobago, where swimming is concerned, and I'm really, 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 I'm happy to say that, the parents in Trinidad and the swimmers in Tobago, and we really interact well, because sometimes when my child go down to Trinidad to swim, he will stay at one of the parents in Trinidad, so it's all good. It's a great love, and at the end of the day, all these children represent Trinidad and Tobago. We are one, so it's great.
Thank you very much, Auntie Bev. Thank you. You had a hand in developing a lot of swimmers in Trinidad and Tobago, but not Tobago. And continue doing what you do. Continue shining a positive light in Tobago to swim in.
And I thank you so much. And I intend to, with God's grace.
And thanks for giving us Asia too.
I lent Asia to you, eh? It's about. Yes.
All right. Very well. Thank you, Auntie Bev, and have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Auntie Bev.
Take care. All right, baby, I love you. All right, take care. Okay.
How much did Cindy cook for you?
Well,
all right, Cindy. Okay, you can stop. You can stop.
Before I go, I want you all to remember that the only
stroke to use with toast bread is the butterfly.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's me again, guys.
Asia, you're starring tonight.
Yes, I starred.
Welcome to Callaloo Cook Up with your sous chef, Cindy Ann.
Yes,
You
yes.
ready?
It's a pleasure to be on your segment.
I know, it's so good to have you here with me tonight, boy.
Yes,
Listen now. Let me say good night to everybody and welcome to Callaloo Cook Up with your sous chef. You know how it goes, it's SUE. Because if I cook anything for you, there will be a lawsuit. So we're moving right into Asia. So Asia, I actually did not even know, honestly, that you're from Tobago.
Yes, I
How long
am.
did you live in Tobago?
So I born and grew in Tobago, and I left Tobago when I was 16 to go to UTT. So I completed my bachelor's in UTT, and then I just stayed in Trinidad after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you identify yourself as a Tobagonian or Trinbagonian? Because let me tell you, people ask me all the time when I'm saying I'm Trini, they're like, so what about Tobago? If I say that's Trini food, they're like, so what comes from Tobago? And I'm like, well, Trini is short for Trinbagonian. So what do you identify as, Tobagonian or Trinidadian or what?
I would say I identify as Trinbagonian / Tobagonian. Because in Trinidad, like a lot of people will say the Trini girl, the red Trini girl. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm from Tobago. So I let everybody know that, hey, I'm from Tobago. I live in Trinidad. But if I'm here, when they say, where are you? I'm a Trinbagonian.
Okay, right. Because people are like, when you say Tobago, they're like, what
Like,
is that?
where? Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
is this?
yeah. I know exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So I have to say Trinbagonian or just Trini. Because everybody knows Trini, Trinidad.
yeah, they know us. We popular, Listen to me. So I heard Auntie Bev talk a little bit about swim meets. Tell me. It seems as if you wasn't too. Yeah, yeah, I did. What about swim meets? What about swim meets turned you off? I find it so much fun.
No, it's not fun at all. Like, I have been, I wouldn't say terrified, but I always loved the coaching aspect of it.
Okay.
Ever since I learned to swim with Coach Jay in my earlier years, I always wanted to learn to coach. I loved learning and how he taught me to swim. And he was the one who actually introduced me. Well, I was forced to go to the YMCA instructor course when they just came to Tobago, and that's when Auntie Bev became my first boss and supervisor, and that is where she taught me everything that it was just confirmed that, okay, I don't want to be a swimmer. I want to make swimmers. I want to coach and have that impact on them that my coaches had on me. So it wasn't about me swimming, it was just
So the thrill of the Golden Bay wasn't even enough. Like when they had to call it Asia Joseph, that wasn't enough for her.
listen, I have, according to Jason, he met me when I came to Trinidad. That is the first time Jason had actually put a
I'm sorry.
face.
I have to apologize. I'm sorry. You could have gone through your whole life without meeting Jesus. So much better. Yeah.
I know, but that was actually the first time Jason saw who I was, because my name will be on the sheet of paper every single swim meet. Paige and Asia, Joseph, and I was just nowhere to be found. I will just not go. I'll just not go. Not even show up to
Okay.
the swim meet. Like, I would not even
Well, I
show up to the
get
swim meet.
that now because now that you're a coach, and if you have a swimmer, what do you say to them if they don't show up? What do you say? I get it. It's all right. Go ahead and what do you say?
I think for me, now that I know what I know now, I know how to cope with my swimmers. So I know how to deal with their arousal and how to deal with their anxiety towards competition
I know how to structure classes in a way where I introduce competition to them within a practice session. So they learn to win, they learn to lose behind closed doors. And based on that, when it's time to perform out in the open, they know, okay, I'm ready for this. And as a coach, I'm always there on the sidelines for my
So
swimmers screaming.
you just didn't feel like you had the confidence to lose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you are now trying to, based on what in spite of whatever your coach said to you, you internally just couldn't
Just,
accept it.
yeah, I could
Okay.
not accept
So
it.
now you know that. You try to kind of talk to your to tell them.
Yes, to my little ones about coping with it and trying to deal with it in practice and so on. Because I mean, even they always get nervous when they say, okay, let's
Yeah,
do
of
our
course.
25 race.
Yeah.
It's
I
just to
guess
kind
you're
of
just walking alongside the pool. I mean, it's tough. So let me ask you this. So beside Auntie Bev, because obviously she played a major role in your swim career, in your coaching career. Who else? Who else from Tobago you would say kind of help you through swimming and eventually coaching?
Of course, I must say Coach J.
Okay.
He
Oh, coach.
was my he was my first swim coach, I would say. And like when you coach and your parents are friends, that is the worst combination ever. Because I had the world of excuses. I can't go to training. He'd be like, no, I'll come and pick you up in school. Well, I don't have no
Exactly.
money. Well, I'll drop you home. And I just couldn't win.
That is what you call a perfect alignment. You
Yes.
understand? That is
No, but
perfect.
that is exactly what that was. And it's actually because of him how I got into coaching. He was like, no, you have to go. You have to go and do the course.
That's what they call it takes a village, Asia. That's
Yeah.
exactly what that means. It takes
I realize that now.
yeah. A boy and Asia. So how do you feel? How proud are you of Tobagonians now who are making national teams and who are able to excel in the sport? How proud do you feel? How does that make you feel?
Oh God, I'm so proud. Like
I
I'm so
know.
proud to see, especially like when I'm at the pool and I see Tobagonian swimmers, I run up to them and hug them. I'm like, hey, I'm from Tobago too, because I mean, most of them, most of the swimmers when I left were like kids, like little babies. So now when I'm looking at Dante, which is Auntie Bev's son, and he's like towering over me now, and I'm
Right.
like, like even Bradley, like when I left Tobago, they were like tiny. Now they're all grown up, and I'm just proud to see that they didn't give up. They didn't let like the challenges deter
They
them
didn't
from
let anxiety
competing.
get the best of them.
Yeah, they didn't let anxiety get the best of them and just not show up to us summit. They persevered and they excelled, and I'm really, really, really proud of the coaches and everybody who plays a part in that development because that is so important for athletes and young swimmers coming up.
So tell me, beach swimming or pool swimming?
um I'll say both. Like pool swimming for me, if I'm swimming, something is going on. Like I use swimming to think. So I would just jump in the pool and just start to swim. So my friends know once I start swimming, Asia thinking about
Something
something.
is up. Yeah.
Something, yeah. She thinking about the next
So
step.
just a regular shower doesn't cut it for you. So like thinking in the shower doesn't work.
Yeah, no, no. Like, and I will even go under the water and like blow.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
yeah.
So what do you want to say? Tell Tobago something. Tell Tobago something before we end this program.
Okay, guys, do not let fear control your lives. All right. If you want to be a coach, be the best coach that you could be. If you want to be an athlete, be the best athlete you could be. Yes, I know Tobago is small and we face more challenges than Trinidadians do. But don't let that get the better of you. Just stick to whatever you want to do and you'll get it. The success will come, the magic will happen. As long as you just put your mind to it, you'll achieve it. So that's what I want to tell my fellow Tibigonians.
Thank you so much, Asia. This was real good. And remember, let's go with Asia Joe on Saturday,
Yes, let we
9
go.
a.m. There we go with Asia
Let's go.
Joe.
You don't forget that either, eh?
I come in. 9 a.m. Don't be late.
9 a.m. Yes. Azzy Joe 7 on Instagram. We live, we ready, we rolling.
Nice. Nice chatting with you, darling. So thank you guys. Back to you, Jason. And remember, the only stroke that you have with your toast is the, let me hear you, Asia. I mean, by now you know it.
Butterfly.
That's right. That's my girl. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
Onella, you hearing us?
Yes, you hear me?
Yes, seeing you loud. I can't see you loud, but seeing you too.
You not see me?
No, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you.
Okay.
All right. So good evening. So this is Bradley Thomas and Onella Walker. Bradley, I would say, is a former national swimmer. Onella is a current national swimmer, and I think they're both from Tobago, right?
Of course, all the way.
Onella, I'm not convinced. He wasn't convincing. Onella, like to stick a
I'm
little
fully
bit.
from Tobago.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get a little Wi-Fi problem.
That's all right. Onella, first question. When last you see Bradley in a pool?
Oh gosh, this is make out scene, by.
Yes, for sure. I haven't seen him in a while.
So Onella is multiple regional medalist. She also was, I believe, Tobago's first swim national record holder in swimming. Yes.
Yes, to my knowing, yeah.
What events?
Backstroke.
50.
And the 200, if I remember correctly.
All right. And so how, as a Tobagonian, how did you get involved actually in swimming?
Well,
As in,
at first,
learn to swim.
I was in track and field, and it was about the age of 13 when I first experienced growth spurs in my knee, so I was getting a lot of knee pain. And my coach recommended swimming as therapy, to rehabilitate the muscles and stuff. And from there, when I went by Beverly and stuff, she was like, you could continue doing this. You have a little talent for it. And as I continue on and off, I actually started to like the sport because I'm originally from I live close to the beach, right? I come from a fishing village, so I always by the sea or whatnot when I was a child, and I really like the swimming, so I just continue, and then I got better, and then I gave up the track and field for the swimming.
So you learned to swim at 13 officially?
No, I learned to swim through my parents from about 2 years old, but started training competitive, and learned to swim into competitive at the age of 13.
Okay. Bradley, same question. How did you get into this swimming thing, boy? Learning to swim.
Well, boy, I ain't not gonna lie. I was a child. I was scared of the water, and I know Auntie Beverly could testify to that. I hated being in the water. I hated swimming. I tried for years and years as a child trying to learn to swim, honestly, and we didn't agree, right? I actually went to Germany just for a little bit of vacation, and I did a learn to swim session program there. And it was when I came back now, I had that love and appreciation for swimming. I went and I joined under Mr. Jonathan Louis. That was around the age of 8 years old. I was involved in swimming in Tobago now.
Right.
And I swam probably between the years of 8 to 15, just really just swimming as a sport. And it was at the age of 15 I really took it seriously and started training more competitively.
Okay, and Onella, you remember that first swim meet? Your first swim
Yes,
meet?
I do. It was Goodwill Trials 2014. It was, I was scared because, this is a whole new playing field for me. I'm accustomed with track and field, but this is swimming. I really don't know what's going on. I remember my first event, I think was freestyle. How, with the it does have the 3 whistles and then the long one to step up. I went and stepped up on the block and looking around and nobody else was up. So I just, step back down. I was just, you could say a wreck for my first swim meet, but it was also a very good experience. I did like it and enjoy it.
And how is the feeling now when you go to the blocks? Still nervous sometimes?
No, I actually outgrew that. Now it is just, want to get over with. Just, enjoy the race, especially backstroke. Like, put what I learn in training into the swim. That is what I look at when I'm swimming now.
Bradley, I see you shaking your head. You just wanted to get it over with too?
Well, I think even to the last days of my swimming, I had a little bit of nervousness, but as Onella said, over time you really get accustomed to it, it becomes more like you need to get a job done kind of thing, you're aiming towards times, particular times, national teams and so on, and as I say, by the time you step on a block there, it's really to get it done,
So Bradley, when did you realize that, okay, maybe I have a little, I could get a little somewhere in swimming? Because I know you made the decision actually to leave Tobago and come and live in Trinidad. So when did you realize and what influenced that decision?
Okay, so when YMCA was built, they would have started their invitational competitions in August. And whenever the Trinidadians came down to Tobago, came up to Tobago, to compete, there was a particular official by the name of Wendell. He used to always tell me, Bradley, you have a lot of potential and you have a lot going for you. And it would have been in 2012. He told me, you should really try out for a national team. And at that time, I didn't know how to, go and try out for a national team. I didn't know if there were trials. I didn't know the process. And we exchanged contacts because he said he would have helped me along with the process and so on. And about late 2012, I contacted him and said, I'm really interested in competing in our next competition, when the next one is. And he said, well, invitationals in December in Trinidad is the next competition. So I tried my best, my utmost best to be able to make it to that meet. And it was there I really kind of got to see the true competition that swimming has in Trinidad, and I was a bit gravitated towards that. And when I came to Trinidad, he actually placed me in the care of Miss Hazel Haynes, and their team would have just, accommodated me, so I had a place to stay for the competition. They would have helped me out. And it was at that point we had that kind of mutual agreement that I would make the move to Trinidad. So initially when I first started, I used to go to Trinidad to train every single weekend. I flew down to Trinidad every weekend to train. And that's how it started for me. My competitive swimming started at that point, really and truly, when I made the move across.
And Onella, you unless you have trained in Tobago, right? But I know you would have. You would interact with people. Is it that you've built a relationship, etc., with your coach that you're confident of the training that they have to offer in Tobago now?
Yes, yes.
have the option to come to Trinidad.
I kind of have the option to come to Trinidad, but it would be a little bit more difficult. And right now, since the lockdown and no swimming, I've had time to reflect on what I want to do and move further in life. And as how some people, most swimmers have this goal to, go America and for college and swim and stuff. I don't want that. I want to go along a different path and basically stay in Tobago and study and train. And I look at it as the best option for me, and Mosi is the best way to go.
Mosi is the best way to go. All endorsement there, man. You would have your challenges. What are some of the challenges you have as a Tobago athlete? Because mostly come from Trinidad.
Most to all competitions in Trinidad. So we have the difficulty with financial. Well, we just go to the THA sometimes, but we just have to for accommodation and transportation, and then food and stuff. And also for national team, we have to back it, like coming down on the weekends, well, every weekend. Now that I'm older, I don't really come down as much, but when I was younger, we used to have to come down, and then Mosi would come with me. And then also our pool, the YMCA, it has a lot of technical difficulties. Like I haven't swum since March, and other swimmers, since the COVID eased up in June, other swimmers got a little bit of swimming time. I didn't get that other than just in the sea with my brother, which is way different and not really my territory because I rather pool. So we have those kind of challenges we face.
So Bradley, what challenges would you have faced? I mean, you were residing in Trinidad, so you didn't have to commute to and from eventually, but what challenges would you have had? Yeah.
Okay, so prior to my competitive beginning or me starting that competitive training, the issues that we had originally, well, and this was before the YMCA pool opened, I think about 2010 or so. Tobago I swam in an era, or I learned to swim in an era of swimming in Tobago whereby swimming only took place at villas, at hotel pools, whatever guest house that you could get. That was the original challenge that we had prior to the YMCA opening. The YMCA opening and also the Kendall facility was a very instrumental and pivotal part of development that took place in Tobago, especially for swimming. And it was upon building these facilities now we're starting to see, a lot more talent coming out, a lot more people making national teams, and they have had more opportunities to do so compared to before, right? So at the time, I still had a little bit of issues with the accommodation and so on, swimming-wise in Tobago, right? Another challenge that I had was because of the fact that it's still a developing sport in Tobago, you're not going to get that competitive push that you need compared to what you would get in Trinidad. Trinidad, it is already more developed. It has been developed for years now, and you have, a large amount of teams, you have a large amount of competition inside the training sessions as well as in competitions. And one of the main factors that caused me to be able to make that move was to be able to be incorporated in that competition, and to really and truly get that competition I needed to be able to develop. Now though, with the introduction especially of the Tobago Aqua Warriors, you're now starting to see a competitive side of Tobago that we did not really have prior to that. We didn't have really that competitive training. You didn't have too many people within the training sessions that could have pushed you to be able to say, both of you all just pushing and pushing to make this national team. You didn't have that before. That was a reality. But now, more and more, still slowly but surely, you're starting to see a lot of growth taking place. And I think that's the goal for any swimmer or anyone that is involved in swimming in Tobago. You want to see that growth. With time, you want to see more teams pop up. You want to see more people get involved in swimming. Swimming is a very beneficial sport. I always say it's one of probably the most important sports you could probably learn, because it's a sport that you could be able to save your life as well as have the tools to be able to save somebody else's life as well. And I want to see that in Tobago, an island where a lot of people still are a bit hesitant to learn to swim. I think now the fact that these facilities are open and you have more opportunities, this would just, create these opportunities for a lot of Tobagonians now.
All right, thanks, Bradley. Onella, how you are a senior swimmer, senior Trinidad and Tobago swimmer, and how do you have somebody or training partner or somebody to push you in training, or do you have that competition in training, or is Onella has to push herself?
No, not really. There's Dante Williams. He was basically my competition. And then too, when I moved to Trinidad, there was some of the boys in the club that was also a push to me, which I really appreciated. But in Tobago, it's Dante and I, and we basically go head to head, which is a little competition in the pool during training, which is helpful.
So, Onella, what you're really trying to say is you want Bradley to come and give you a little pull too?
Yes. He ready to come out of retirement, When someone say they're going into retirement, they don't really stay in retirement,
That's why I didn't put him in.
This sound old, boy. Honestly, I would like to get back to swimming, and it's especially in Tobago too. But currently right now I have so many different goals and plans. I kind of put swimming to the side. I mean, I am back in Trinidad again, and just trying to achieve some goals that I set out for myself. But I really would like to jump back into swimming once the time is right, So who knows? You might see me jump out in Tobago again, and we could do a little race or two,
Onella, I want you to let me know if you see him.
I will let you know for sure. I'll record it and send it to anything.
Wow.
Onella, any final words? I know any final words of encouragement for Tobago athletes, Tobago swimmers?
Yes, if you doing the sport of swimming and you really have a liking to it, it is not just a sport, you just say, okay, I want to do swimming and then show up to training 2 times a week and stuff. It's not really like that. You have to show determination, and it takes a lot of focus and drive, because we face a lot of challenges here. So you have to, show that you want it and to push through those challenges and fight through that to actually get there.
Thank you very much, Onella. And Bradley, I ain't gonna harass you anymore. What final words you have? In fact, let me ask you a different question. What more would you like to see in swimming in Tobago?
What more I would like to see in swimming in Tobago? I think I would like to see more competitions taking place in Tobago. More, not just involving Trinidad and Tobago, but also Tobago within itself. Some little, I would say, like little internal competitions too. I want to see the growth. I want to see more teams come out of Tobago. And just see that growth. But as I said, with it now, the pool, I would say fairly still new. Swimming is still fairly new in Tobago. It's gonna take some time for it to grow. Growth takes time. But ultimately, my goal and vision I want to see in Tobago is is just that competitive drive. I want to be able to see more Tobagonians taking part in competitions, and just be more involved in the sport. The thing is, I'm not gonna lie. I myself was a coach for a little bit. There are a lot of Tobagonians with potential to be great in swimming. A lot. I'm not even joking. Like you see it all the time. As a coach, you see it right through. You know, it's just up to those people that are now involved, like Mosi, like Auntie Bev, you know, for them to really get those people involved and get them to realize the dedication that it takes to be a successful swimmer. You know, as Onella said, it's not a sport that you could come to 3 and 4 times a week and say that, you know, you could make it. It really is a sport that takes your entire life. Like it takes up your whole life, you know. So at the end of it all, just want to continue to see the sport grow in Tobago and nothing more. You know, that's what I wish for Tobago. Just to see that growth and development taking place.
Well, Coach Mosi just chime in there. I think both of you are taller than him, but you say proud of the little, but good job with the little ones. Proud of you all.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, I really want to thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Onella. Thank you for your contribution to swimming, especially in being leaders in Tobago. And I mean, I hope you all continue to go from strength to strength. Keep safe during this crazy COVID time. Also want to thank all the previous guests. I'd like to thank Mosi. I'd like to thank Asia. Of course, we can't forget Auntie Bev. Thank you, Auntie Bev, for all that you have done for swimming in Tobago. This program was specially dedicated to Tobago. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. And tune in next week. Big up whoever. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and tune in next week at 8 p.m. for episode